Hiya guys, so currently 4 days in now, so started on Sunday evening and it is now Thursday evening. Went to bed last night and I think it was probably due to Mercury retrograde ending and the black moon, but had a sudden burst of energy. Only actually slept for about 3.5 hours last night and still managed to get up and go to the gym this morning as well. But today I'm going to answer the question. One thing I get asked quite a lot is how do I expect and how do I manage to maintain muscle and strength whilst not eating on a fast? First of all, I'm going to say you've probably heard the saying that nutrition is not only the food that you put in your mouth, it's also the words you listen to, the words you speak, the words you hear, and the people you surround yourself and your surroundings. And this is very true. I noticed this from a very young age, being quite clairaudient, that music and words could definitely change my energy field quite rapidly. I mean, today I got a little bit lethargic around sort of 4 o'clock and put on some music and it lifted my energy instantly, because we are 72% water. And I don't know if you've read the study by I think it's Masaru Emuru, done a study on water and how it's affected by sound. So we are affected by vibration, frequency and music, and obviously speech is a form of this. So what I tend to do when I am fasting is I make a playlist of songs, and this playlist, I'll call it manifestation music or strong affirmation music, and all of these songs will contain certain lyrics that are very uplifting, and I will generally try to change the frequency of the music to either 432 or 528, which is one of the Solfeggio frequencies. And by doing this, I find that every time I have a little bit of a lull through the day, if I put these tunes on, it lifts me up again. So this is another reason why sometimes when certain people's energies come into the room, you instantly want to leave. You get a feeling of that person. We're actually, if you can tune into your energy, you can actually pick up on a lot of things around you. As I say, we've got 114 chakras in our body, 7 in the main energy wheel, and we've been talking about that quite a lot yesterday. As with meditation, which we spoke about yesterday, meditation is probably one of the most healing things you can do apart from sleeping. Some studies have shown sleeping better, some studies have shown meditation. It usually sways towards sleeping, but I'd say this is dependent on the person who's doing the meditation, because a lot of yogis have been shown that they can actually get into a delta brainwave just through meditation, whereas the average person will get down to about a theta brainwave. Now on top of this, some studies I read probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and then it actually got reintroduced to on an astral study course that I went on. I spent about a month in France last year studying astral projection with a guy called Todd Agamesis. Hi Todd. He's actually helped me with this information today because I needed to dig it out of the file from somewhere. But if you was to sit down, say you're sitting right here, right now, and a lot of injured athletes do this. So when you're training, when you're fasting, you obviously want to use as little energy as possible. So when I'm in the gym, I tend to lift a heavier weight for less reps, probably 85% of my 1 rep max for 5 reps, and I tend to do 4 to 5 sets. And I don't do too many muscle groups at once. When I do train, I tend to do opposing muscle groups together, so I do chest and back together. So I like to build up the muscles in synchronicity, symmetrically as well, because I feel personally that this has less of an effect on the joints if you build them up symmetrically. So I do, say, shoulders and legs together, or biceps and triceps together, and chest and back together. But what I was getting into is that if you was to sit down and you was to imagine doing a bicep curl but not actually doing it. So when you're sitting still, you can almost get your energy body to do a little bit of a dance without actually moving your actual physical body, can't you? I know a lot of people might struggle with this at first, but if you was to sit down and you was to imagine doing this with your arm, if you do it really quickly like this and then you stop, you almost get the feeling that you're still doing it. So if you could imagine your energy body contracting the bicep without actually moving it, or contracting the leg muscle, or contracting the chest muscle, performing the exercise without actually doing it, studies have shown that this can increase the muscle up to 10.8%, and that's without even doing anything. So even if you didn't want to go to the gym while you're fasting, if you was to sit down each day and go through your muscle groups and to use your energy body, or to just imagine that you're contracting it and doing the movement, you could still maintain, possibly even gain, depending on what type of fast you're doing, whether it's a juice fast, an amino fast, a water fast, or a hard dry fast. As I said, I've actually achieved this with a hard dry fast before. But yeah, 10.8%. So now if you was to combine this with a form of weight training, which as I've just mentioned you do, also with the earthing that I'm going to talk to you about probably tomorrow. This is sitting on grass or standing on grass bare feet, so the protons, neutrons and electrons can clear the inflammation in the body, which is very healing as well. Personally, my hypothesis is that when the body gets inflammation, you get an energy blockage. Once you've got an energy blockage, if you start to imagine you've got an illness, or you see it on TV, or you see a medication advert, or you go to the doctors and they tell you you've got an illness, you start to get that energy blockage and you start to build up negative energy around it, and then you start to get ill from that. And if you tell somebody you're ill, you've got cancer or this or that, their energy around you changes it, they project it onto you. All of a sudden you've got this whole energy around you that you didn't even need. And there is actually cases of people getting told they've got lung cancer, that person dying 6 months later, and then finding out that the prognosis was actually for someone else. These are all studies you can find yourself and look into. If anyone wants any information on it, then I can ping them over to you. I'm not just going to post them on the internet, but either of those studies, even the ones with gaining 10% of muscle, I can ping them over to you. Now when you add on top of this sun gazing, which as I said to you, I believe that every food you eat takes its energy from the sun, and you're eating a byproduct. So the purest form of energy you can get is sun. Whether this is sunbathing, sun gazing, it's the purest form of energy as far as I'm concerned. A lot of people say to me that it's absolute bollocks and there's no way you can put weight on. I'm going to do it. I reckon within the next 2 years I will only eat for pleasure, 100%. I believe that food slows you down, and from the fasting that I've done personally and from my personal experience, I have felt so energetic and so connected whenever I've done a fast, using all these different modalities to increase my energy, that food just seems to slow me down. I do enjoy food, so I'm not going to lie, I probably will go back to eating maybe one meal a day. The majority of the foods I eat will be live foods. As I said before, fruit is 90% water, vegetables 72% water, the human body is 72% water. We are a vibrational frequency tool. This is another reason why I say put the pink Himalayan salt into the water sometimes, because if you remove minerals from water, it becomes less conductive. If you put minerals back into water, it becomes more conductive. We want to be conducting the vibrations and frequencies that we want to send out, and not accepting negative ones coming in. On top of this, there is also, let me think, I've lost my track for a second, go off on tandem so much. So the affirmations. So every night before I go to bed, I will say an affirmation that my body is regenerating, recuperating, remineralizing, renourishing, getting all the amino acids and proteins that it needs. Now, as I said to you before, if somebody can get told that they've taken a medicine to cure something, and it's not the medicine and their body can create the chemical, why can't we imagine we've eaten the food and get the nutrients from it? Because this is all made up by us anyway. So why can't we say, I'm going to have the amino acids that I need to repair my body without eating the food? So this is where I've gone with this, and this is what I've tried. As I said, there's been studies where people have created the chemical for a certain medicine when they've needed the medicine without taking the medicine. So this is not too far-fetched if you stay with me. So when you combine all of these things together, I believe that not only could you maintain your weight and maintain your strength, that there's a physical possibility that you could actually gain it. As I've mentioned yesterday, I think there's a lot of other things the human race is going to be capable of soon. I think telepathy is just around the corner. I think telekinesis is a serious prospect. There's already a guy in Fort Lauderdale in Florida that has been tested left, right and centre and can actually move objects, metal objects, wooden objects. And the way that they've studied him and found out that he does it is slightly before he actually moves this feature, there's an increase in his brainwave activity, and it's such a spike. Literally, you'd see this spike going along, and then when he actually moves the thing, the spike goes up about this much. So we all have these capabilities because we can all get our brainwaves from alpha, beta, theta, delta when you have enough practice with it. yeah, so this is another 9 minutes today. I'm trying to keep these to 9 minutes for this 21 days. On the 40-day one, the documentary will be a lot longer, but I'll be going into detail a lot more in depth with a lot more studies, and obviously somebody else will be filming that and editing it as well, so it'll be a lot better quality. So I'm going to leave you with that today. I hope that's a good one for you. I think it's quite an interesting one. Throwing in a bit of astrology there at the beginning as well. I'd actually like information if you guys have felt the energy spike recently. I don't know how many of you guys know about the Schumann resonance and the full moons and stuff that we've had, but the energy I had last night was absolutely crazy, and the ear-ringing was off the chart. So I have no doubts that I will finish this 21 days and probably want to even carry it on for a little bit longer. I did take a weight measurement before starting this one, and I will obviously do one at the end as well. For this particular time round, I'm not overly bothered with weight. I'd like to see some more muscle definition, and the weight fluctuation definitely won't be more, give or take. I would have either gained or lost 3 to 4 pounds, and that'll be it. And that's 21 days, no food, just water, lemon juice, Himalayan salt, and 3 amino acid drinks a day. Brilliant. So I hope you're all having a lovely day. Please do comment, share, like, and subscribe, because I'm trying to build this YouTube channel up to raise as much awareness on how powerful the human body and mind is. Thank you. Have a blessed evening. See you later.